Imagine living in a world where justice feels like an unattainable dream, a world where the wealthy elite thrive on their untouchable status, while ordinary people struggle to make ends meet. But what if someone dared to turn the table? What if the untouchable could finally be touched? Welcome to Leverage, a story that reimagines the timeless Robin Hood mythos for the modern age. Here, justice isn't just about laws, it's about righting the wrongs that society overlooks. A group of thieves, con artists, and outcasts unite not for personal gains, but to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. But this isn't just the talking from the rich to give to the poor. It's about the moral complexities of revenge and justice, the artistry of deception, and the undeniable bond that forms between people who dares to stand against the powerful. Through humor, heart, and the thrill of the perfect con, Leverage takes us on a ride where every move is calculated and every choice challenges a notion of morality and redemption. So if you're ready to dive into a world where the lines between right and wrong blurs and the underdogs always have the last laugh, you've come to the right place. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and check out my other videos after this one. And now, without further ado, let's explore Leverage. Chapter 1. Modern Robin Hood Mythos. For whatever reason, we ordinary people seems to have an unusual obsession with watching the rich and the powerful be taken down and taught a lesson. The idea that those deemed untouchable can be humiliated, whether in real-life scenarios or fictional stories, gives us a small rush. It feels like a moment when the scales of justice tips into favor of the working classes. Classic stories like Robin Hood exemplifies this type of narrative. Robin Hood and his merry men stole from the rich and gave to the poor, sparking a timeless tale of rebellion against inequality. Over the centuries, countless storytellers have tried to replicate the excitement of these underdog stories, ones where the underprivileged finally receives the help they deserve. Leverage is a modern example of how this genre plays out in contemporary storytelling. Taking inspirations from the Robin Hood narrative, the show explores themes of justice and class disparities, reminding viewers that not much has changed since the days of Robin Hood. The wealthy elites are richer than ever, controlling most of the system we live under. Meanwhile, the less fortunate scrape by day to day, with many unable to do even just that. They live within a system that forces them to make sacrifices, hoping for change that never comes. Leverage Inc. provides an inspirational glimpse into a parallel world where individuals dare to take on these wealthy elites, regardless of laws they may break. The team operates as modern-day merry men, doing what is illegal in the eyes of the law, but morally right for the people they help. The satisfaction of justice being served, especially for those with nowhere else to turn, makes for an exciting story. At the same time, the show serves as a sombering reminder of the disparities that persist in the real world. The wealthy elite often takes what they want without fear of accountability, controlling many aspects of their lives. Perhaps that is why we feel so much pleasure watching fictional corporations and elites be brought down. It sparks the faint hope that maybe something similar could happen in this reality. Chapter 2. Justice versus Revenge. There has always been a complicated debate about the differences between the outcomes of justice and revenge. Is it even possible to achieve both justice and revenge for people, or must one accept that only one can be pursued? This tension forms the crux of many dilemmas, especially when examining the motivation of those seeking resolution for their pain. The clients that Leverage Inc. tackles all share similar stories. They are ordinary folks who have been wronged by the rich and the powerful, whether by large corporations or even organized crime. Each client's circumstances varies, but they all share one thing in common. They've been dealt an unfair hand and are left to live with the consequences. However, there is one option available to them, a chance to call on the team to seek either justice or the revenge they deserve. In most cases, the focus is on justice. The team runs long cons targeting those who exploit the vulnerable, ensuring they are either exposed or ruined, financially, reputationally, or both. Watching the scales of justice tip in the favor of the defenseless is deeply satisfying. These cases restore balance, showing that even the wealthiest and the most untouchable can be held accountable. However, when a case becomes more personal, the desire for revenge often takes center stage. This shift intensifies the narrative, heightening the stakes and pushing the team closer to the edge of danger. It raises moral questions. Was pursuing revenge instead of justice worth the trouble? These personal cases, while compelling and reveals deeper layers of the characters, blurs the lines of morality and challenges the team's dynamics. Ultimately, the question remains, How can justice and revenge coexist in a way that balances morality and storytelling? The pursuit of both elements creates a fascinating tension, but it also forces the viewers to question and consider just how much obsession with revenge can be justified before it starts to erode the very foundation of the team. This delicate balance is what makes these stories so engaging, as they explore not only the satisfaction of seeing predators brought down, but also the cost of vengeance of the team's unity. Chapter 3: The Art of Con Artistry. Con artistry has existed longer than people might think. Ever since there were people to exploit, regardless of their economic status, there were always those lurking in the shadows, ready to con and steal whatever they could obtain. If we look at this from a moral standpoint, conning and thievery will always be considered wrongdoing. However, when viewed from a neutral perspective, one can also recognize the beauty and at times the artistry behind the elaborate cons executed over the centuries. This concept holds true for Leverage Inc., where the characters utilizes the unique skill sets to craft effective and creative cons. They often tweak these schemes to take down the intended mark, no matter how unrealistic it may seem. As viewers, we willingly suspend our disbelief and immerse ourselves in this narrative. One of the most intriguing elements of the series is the variety of cons the character uses, sparking fascinating conversation about which method is best suited for the current mark. Many series leans on the grand mystery that viewers can solve way before the episode reveals the mystery themselves, but Leverage stands out by making certain efforts to keep things engaging by having us, the viewers, second-guessing everything until the very end when everything is revealed. It suspends our disbeliefs and delivers captivating cons, all while giving us the satisfaction of seeing the morally questionable marks brought down, a pleasure we can't help but enjoy. Chapter 4: Humor and Heart. As much as the series is about balancing the scales of justice, there is another layer within the narrative that has been a key reason why people are drawn to it. Before their endeavor to help the helpless and those in need, the Leverage crew were criminals. They each worked alone, avoiding responsibilities of being beholden to anyone else. This dynamic is what makes them work so well together. They preferred solitude, but over time their personalities and quirk, developed during their lone wolf days, created a sense of humor and heart that the series capitalizes on. None of the characters in the series, not even Nate, could be considered ordinary. Their line of work, where schemes are crafted and deception is elevated to an art form, feels like an entirely different language to outsiders. What makes this even more engaging is how they all find each other a little weird in their own way, even when they too are also weird. Their oddities and differences distinguishes them from people we might normally relate to. As former thieves, they banded together, realizing the unique opportunity and reward of being thieves for the good guys. This shared understanding gives rise to a central element of the show: humor. From practical jokes to shared language about stealing and art, the interaction brings a facet of their personalities that couldn't have emerged when they were working alone. The ridiculousness of their antics is a big part of what makes the show so enjoyable. The series highlights the power of being comfortable enough to be yourself around others, naturally letting humor flourish. Moments like Parker throwing Hardison off a building, safely harnessed, or Elliot, Hardison, and Parker's playful banter showcases the charm of these characters. They are themselves without shame, expressing humor even when it might not be entirely appropriate, and that's exactly why people love them. Chapter 5: The Ending. When it comes to those at Leverage Inc., what is their holy grail? After all, they're the last line of hope for those abused by the rich and the powerful, serving justice that cannot be obtained through traditional means. This question becomes central as the series comes to a close. Moving into a new city, Leverage Inc. faces new oppositions. Their final case as a team of 5 brings both nostalgia for the first heist and a poignant goodbye, marking a transition from one generation to another. For the mastermind and the grifter, Nate and Sophie, veterans of the game, this moment represents the culmination of their efforts. The mentoring and guidance they've provided to the hacker, hitter, and thief have paid off as the team sets out to steal one of the world's most classified secrets. The final mission together centers on the Black Book, a file containing incriminating records of the wealthy elites. For Leverage Inc., it is the Holy Grail, and they're determined to obtain it. The heist itself takes a nostalgic approach, mirroring elements from their very first mission. The series highlights how far the team has come, showcasing their cohesion after years of working together. Their plans are more effective, and their bonds have grown deeper, evolving from crew into a family. Using this sense of unity, they take on 2 of the greatest challenges they have faced as a unit: the infiltration into authority, and the Sterenko security system. But once successfully obtaining the file raises new questions. What does this newfound power mean for Leverage Inc.? How do they move forward, knowing they now have access to information about targets they could only dream of pursuing? With the mission a success, the series shifts to a somber reflection. Nate and Sophie now realizes that the others can function without them, deciding to retire. In doing so, they leave behind a legacy, not only of transforming the lives of their teammates, but also of fighting for those who lacked a voice. They balance the scales of justice, proving that even the most untouchable forces of wealth and power can be held accountable. Epilogue: Redemption is never over. The notion that performing one good deed can outweigh multiple wrongs is a mindset that will never lead to a true redemption. Redemption is not a single act, but a continuous journey, one that requires confronting the past and striving for a better future. In the aftermath of stealing the Black Book, Leverage Inc., once merely a cover for the team's operation, has evolved into an international organization. These global branches now work tirelessly to balance the scales of justice, redistributing powers from the corrupt wealthy for those in need. Flash forward into the future, and a new world order has emerged. The rich have only grown more powerful, seemingly immune to the balance Leverage International strives to restore. The tactics of the wealthy elite have become more devious, creating an ever-widening gap between classes and fueling major social friction. Despite these disparities, Leverage International continues to fight, driven by the collective pursuit of redemption for their criminal pasts. Unlike the original series, which revolved around Nate, the mastermind and the only member without a major criminal background, Leverage Redemption shifts the spotlight to the process of redemption itself. Reuniting Sophie with her original crew in the wake of Nate's passing, the series delves into the complexities of what it means to redeem oneself. Redemption, as it unfolds, is not a finish line. It is an ongoing path, one where the sins of the past cannot be washed away in full. What can be redeemed, however, is the direction one chooses to take next. For the newly formed team, the path is clear, continuing to take the corrupt, rich, and the powerful, ensuring justice for those who need it the most. In doing so, they find purpose, solidarity, and a way forward in their never-ending pursuit of redemption. In the end, Leverage shows us the power of standing up against corruption and making a tangible difference for those who need it the most. It's a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the scales of justice can be tipped. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you soon in the next review episode.